Hi everyone, this is Bryn. Today I'm going to take a look at how to navigate the new user interface for the GoPro HERO4 Black Edition camera. For anyone that buys a Hero 4 as their first GoPro camera, they'll quickly get used to the way it works. But for owners of previous model GoPro cameras who are used to using the original user interface, it may take them a little bit longer. You see, once you get used to the way it works, it becomes a sort of muscle memory thing. You don't really have to think about it anymore. Now, I've been using GoPro cameras since 2010, and having two systems in my head forces me to stop and think about what I'm doing just that little bit more. It's a big move by GoPro to change something so familiar, but after using the new user interface for a while, you can start to see why they've done it. What used to be the Wi-Fi button in previous models is now the settings button, and using it in conjunction with the other two buttons helps to make it easier to navigate the camera settings. All the most commonly used settings are accessible by pressing the settings button, and they're grouped together to allow you to quickly make changes to whatever mode you're using. The less often used functions are located in the setup menu. That also has been simplified. First up, let's take a look at the setup menu. When you turn the camera on, it will start up in your default mode. Out of the box, the default mode is video, but you can change it to whatever mode you want. To do that, we access the setup menu by pressing the power mode button to cycle through the secondary modes. There's photo, multi-shot, and then the setup icon. As usual, you press the top shutter button to select and enter. You can still scroll down using the power mode button, but we'll take a quick look at all the available options. There's wireless, orientation, default mode, quick capture, which is a new feature, LEDs, beeps, video format, on-screen display, auto off, date time, delete, reset cam, that's another new feature, and last of all, exit. Now, selecting exit will take you straight out of the menu and back to whatever default mode you've selected, or you can continue on to go back to the start of the list. For any of these items that have more than two choices, when you press select, it takes you to a sub-menu. There may also be further sub-menus. Select back to go back, obviously. Now, if we go down to orientation, you can see by pressing select, it just cycles through, up, down. There's only two choices there. Now, rather than making this video overly long, I'll be taking a closer look at most of these functions and features in future videos. But for now, we'll just take a quick look at default modes before going back to check out the settings button. The default options available are video, video and photo, looping, photo, continuous, night, burst, time lapse, and night lapse. I'll leave it on video for the moment, and we can exit there, and now we're back in video mode. Okay, now let's take a look at the settings button. When we're in video mode, when I press the settings button, it allows me access to all the different settings associated with video, all grouped together. The three modes available here are video, video and photo, and looping. I'll start with the main video mode. If I move down to resolution, I can press the shutter button to quickly scroll through all the available options and select the one that I want. The same goes for frame rate and field of view. The next item on the list here is low light, and in this case auto low light is not available because the frame rate is too low at 25 frames per second, but it would be if I chose a higher frame rate. Next there's spot meter, and finally Pro Tune. Selecting Pro Tune turns it on and also gives you access to a further range of Pro Tune options such as white balance, color profile, ISO limit, sharpness, EV compensation, and reset Pro Tune, which restores all Pro Tune settings to the default settings. Now, if I go back to the top of the list, I can change the mode to video and photo. The only differences here are that you now have the option to set the photo interval, and the Pro Tune settings are no longer available. And if I change the mode to looping, you can see that I also have interval settings, but in this case it means the duration of the loop. Okay, so that's it for the three main video settings. Now if I go back out of video settings by pressing the settings button again, I can move on to the photo modes by pressing the power mode button, and then pressing the settings button again, I now have access to all the different settings associated with the three different photo modes. The options available are single, continuous, and night photo. In single, there is megapixels, spot meter, and Pro Tune. If I change to continuous, you'll see that it's the same except for we now have interval settings. If I change to night photo, instead of interval settings, I now have access to shutter settings. Okay, lastly, if I go back out of photo settings and move on to multi-shot, I can access settings associated with multi-shot. The first mode is photo burst, and in photo burst we have the photo rate, megapixels, spot meter, and Pro Tune. In time-lapse mode, instead of photo rate, I now have interval settings, and lastly, night-lapse mode. Not only do I have access to interval, but I also have access to shutter settings. Okay, so there you have it. I hope this overview of the new GoPro Hero 4 user interface helps to demonstrate just how easy it is to navigate. Please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Every time you hit the like button, it really helps our channel grow. And if you haven't done so already, why not subscribe to Brynmag Productions to be notified when we upload new videos. You can also follow us on social media. Links to our Facebook, Twitter and Google Plus are in the description below. Until next time, this is Bryn. Thanks for watching.